they dive, the screams of battle in their lungs, they find each other in the dark embrace of the cold sea.
Okay, I could watch that all day long because it is always great to see a game that is both unique and beautiful, and that is exactly what we have with the Falconeer. Joining us today is the mind behind it, the game's creator, Tomas Sala. Welcome.
Hi, glad to be here.
Well, thank you very much. I know you are an incredibly busy guy, so appreciate you taking the time. We see this game, it looks incredible. We just saw 90 seconds of accolades from gaming institutions, from places that are, are here to give us the reviews of this game. I gotta ask, first things first, you're looking at this going, you gotta feel like pinch me watching that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a weird sensation because it's been such an intense journey, and to end up with people liking it, and it's amazing for people to understand it even, because it's such a niche, air combat games, which has been absent for quite a while. So to get in there and people sort of get it and understand the world and some of the things I've been trying to do, it's exciting. Yeah.
It is, and that's a very good word for it. I'll take that. Well, before we get into everything, because I know one of the best parts is the visuals and the gameplay, and I want to jump right in right now, and then I'm gonna, while you're playing, I'm gonna lob you some questions, because that's what today is about. Right. It's showcasing this great new launch title, and I want to see it, and I know everybody watching does as well. And while we boot stuff up here, let's talk a little bit about the look and that art style, because it's such a decisive place to be, and I'm curious how you decided to go this way. I know textures are not exactly your favorite, so I figured I'd ask.
Well, it's a game without textures. I don't think everybody heard that, but it's I think years ago I wanted to do something different. I'm a 3D artist by trade back then. I do a lot more now, obviously. And I like clean things that look clean and readable. And in 3D art, there's been so long where we need to mask everything, because we can't do everything realistically, and things like jaggies and jagged lines were interfering. And over the last years, I've been forcing myself to work without textures, which is a sort of a base element. Yeah. And that's cleaned up my art, and it's been really addictive, because it forces you to do everything differently. Yeah. And then things come out looking slightly different, which is exciting and motivating when you're working on something by yourself, when you think, oh, this is new. So it's a trick mostly for myself to get visuals that do look nice and clean and different, and get me going in the morning to make more of it.
I love it. Let's get into those visuals right now. Let's jump into gameplay. Give the people what they want, Tomas. Give the people what they want. Let's jump into some gameplay here. And maybe right off the bat, let's talk. Is this which mission we're on? If we've got a particular island that we're enjoying, what are we doing here right now?
So I've started up the first chapter, and one of the final missions for that. You're looking at a place you've landed called Dunkel, which is a backwater town, and these are the people there that can help you. So there's a shop here. there's someone that sells, if you meet the requirements, new birds. So you can upgrade your birds, which you can see perched in the corner on the left there. There are some side missions, but the meat of the game is the story missions, which tell the story of this world across different factions, basically. So each chapter has you skipping along from a different perspective, joining a different faction, a different storyline, and a different take on the same conflict. So these guys are basically, country traders stuck in the middle of nowhere, and they've had a rough time, and you've been helping them at this point in the game.
Got it.
So
yeah, let's. I'm gonna just have you play the game and walk me through this, because I mean, at this point, if I start drooling over here, I think it's gonna be totally fine. Like let's be together, our own support system. But it's incredible visuals, and I want to see it happen.
I'm gonna buff my bird with some mutagens quickly here, because I gave myself some cash at the start of the game.
Well, you can do that, Thomas. You are the person behind this. I love it.
No, I actually had to play it because this is the live version, so there's no cheats in there. So the story is told. The game is really a homage to these old flying games I enjoyed when growing up. To me, that's such an archetype. Air combat is an archetypical game mechanic. It's where a lot of the game industry came from, even. So I like battle maps, and I actually skipped it there. So there's all that in there. So when you do a story mission, you get a nice battle map, an explanation, and then you take off, which is just simply pressing the button. And we're flying at the moment, and I can zoom into the photo mode really quickly and show everybody. So you're someone who rides these giant birds. They are giant birds. There has been some debate online if it's tiny people on giant birds. I'll leave that open. To me, they're big ass birds. That's the tagline. And you ride them, as you can see. I can show you. So the left stick is just panning the camera around, and that's the right stick. Sorry, the left stick's just flying. I've got it set to inverted, but you can change it. And the thing with birds is they use thermals, and they don't have, there's no big jet engine on there. Even though there's a gun and ammo on its back, it doesn't have a jet engine. So you have to dive to make speed, or hit these subtle thermal uplifts, updrafts, or whatever you want to call them. And they'll give you speed, lift you up, and power your blue bar on the bottom. And you can use that to do, barrel rolls and stuff.
Oh my gosh! And is it true that you actually upgrade your ammo? You re-engage it with thunderstorms?
Yeah, you can buy it in the stoppage. Yeah. So there's ammo canisters on your back, and I've got one that's red, and the rest is all blue. So the blue you charge from regular thunderstorms, and the red ones you get from charging from volcanic lightning.
Oh, sure.
So it's I can see a storm on my mini map on the bottom right. So we'll be flying in there. We can see how that works.
Yeah. I see. Is that are enemies approaching, or what is that?
Yeah, that is our target, and the storms are procedural, so it's not intended for the mission, but we'll have to do with it. And we have to take down this pirate captain while I try to stay alive during talk.
I believe in you, Thomas. I believe in you. Just tell us what you're doing, because there's so much going on, and I think that's such an integral part of this, right? It's this combat. It's this air flight combat. I love it.
So I love air combat games. So I've tried to, really stick to the vocabulary of those, old-timey air combat games. With respects to the GUI, there's stuff like if you target something, you can hold the B button and the camera will track the target, so you can get a good spatial awareness of where you are. Because the combat's so much faster than or slower and relatively faster. And lots more turning is involved, so it's quite close to, let's say, World War I style dogfighting. But I found it's impossible to hit it by just leading the target. So there's a little aim assist, and when you see the lock on blinking, that means you're basically locked on. You're getting that little boost to help you destroy your opponent. So I think we've taken care of that first wave there. Well, you can see me recharging. There's a danger where if you recharge too much, it might overcharge, and you have to, it's happening there. You have to hit the deck. So let's see.
And when you hit the deck, I was gonna say you can't like die in the water, obviously, right? But you do get some help.
No. It's right here. Let's dive in and pick up a sea mine and take down this little pirate skiff that's being all annoying.
Yes.
Oh, I missed. Well, you can see the fun thing is the bombs bounce. So initially people had a little difficulty with aiming the bombs, and there's lots of splash damage. But if you just sort of guess where this target is going, they'll bounce, or you hit it immediately. Oh, there's lots of. We've gone into the thick of it now with little blimps, skull ships they're called.
With blimps?
I'll
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there's airships. These are very maneuverable airships, and there's quite big ones. This is a friendly steam rake, which is more like an ironclad, basically. I love all things nautical, and especially that that Age of Sail with the tall ships. So if you go outside of the mission, which we can do in a minute because we're going to die anyway, you'll see there's lots of tall ships and these fast, elegant sailing ships. Which you can escort, and they'll give you hints where everybody's hiding, or if there's a pirate assault somewhere, etc., etc. So there's lots of nautical stuff in there. I love sailing ships.
You love sailing ships. Yeah, we were nerding out. I was gonna say we were nerding out about some aeronautics, and I love that.
Yeah. So this is one of the final missions. So the pirate, he got killed, and he called his buddies, which is the Freebooters, which is an organic faction. So they drive around or fly around in beetles and manta rays, with dorsal guns.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll go there.
So the
oh my God. So it's a flying manta ray.
Sorry, I got down there because I wasn't paying attention.
Those who are lost seek out their brothers, their sisters.
So the enemy
to be found.
I'm just sitting here drooling over the visuals, so you just keep playing. I'm just gonna sit here.
All right. Well, I'll restart somewhere else.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know that we've got. So in terms of missions, there's some wingman missions, there's some sort of escorting missions. Like, talk to me about the width and breadth of what there is available to play when you get the game.
So the first chapter, you are still friends with the two major power faction, which is the Mancer Order and the Imperium. So you get to fly around, and it's mostly very simple escort missions and the FedEx missions. Once the game progresses per chapter, the conflict, what the story is about, the war sort of erupts, and missions. The main story missions become more epic, but also the side missions become more, aggressive. Take down this fortress, and you can capture a fortress for your faction, and it'll change the way it looks and behaves. So you'll have some impact in the world.
What's the next part of the gameplay you want to show us, Thomas? I'm just curious because that's.
I thought I'd show you one of the story bits of the game. This is a different faction, so you're now playing for the Imperials.
Okay.
And they're going to war, basically. So the first two chapters, you've met these, and they were sort of preparing and engaging in subterfuge. And they have this particular family have a very long focus of what they want to do. But I thought it nice to show some of the scenery in the game, as we've seen some combat already. So this is a place called the Shard, which is their hometown, and you can see all the trading ships coming in. And when you're just, lazily exploring, you'll meet these guys, which are, like the tall ships that are plying the trade lanes. And you can escort them around, and they'll pay you, and it's a fairly non-violent way of getting some cash. But they are situated on a place called the Maw, which in the story is one of the, it's a giant rift where gravity is a little bit upset, and the water goes up and down and doesn't behave in any normal way. And that's one of the themes in the game, is that in many times you'll be going not just over the water, but you'll be going inside the water or underneath the water or in caves, and you'll be drawn down by the ocean itself, instead of just flying over an ocean world in itself, which can honestly be quite boring. There will be always places to discover and that sort of upset that idea of what an ocean world can be.
Upsetting the idea of what the ocean world can be. I got to tell you, you come at this from a perspective that is so unique and yet still grounded in those, those air fighting games that we've known and loved, that we've all grown up with, right? I'm curious if there's anything last you want to, as we see these beautiful soaring pictures and this incredible gameplay, is there anything else you want to let viewers know about? Anything that you think that they should know before they play the game? Specifically, are you going to make a statue out of those statues? Because I know that's something you want to do. And I think we should make it happen.
When I have time available, I'll the statuettes and stuff. Yeah, there's lots of the imagery in the game is very personal to me because it's when you're by yourself, you can be very expressive in the things you create. So I'd say for people, I think what people need to realize that it is a homage to air combat. It is an air combat. Let me fly while doing it. It's an air combat game at heart, and just because it's got an epic story and it's got this great world to discover, it's still an air combat game. So you got to be ready to learn that in air combat things are happening behind you. You're getting targeted. People want to get on your six, and that can be incredibly intimidating. I think it's fantastically rewarding, and it's like I said, it's an archetypical gameplay. And if you've never tried it out, I hope I've added something to the genre that can pull people in and give them their first taste of that.
Tomas, I think you did. Myself included is very excited. Thank you very much for coming on today, showing us all about the Falconeer. A huge congratulations to you. You can sleep after tomorrow. It's going to be great. And I will say thank you so much once again for being here. Congratulations. And we all look forward to checking it out.
Thanks.